Hi guys, here we are. This is Başak, yoga therapist and teacher and an engineer.
Hi, guys, this is Kate. We is a podcast about learning, awakening, and empowerment. We explore how spirituality and wisdom guide us to live with clarity, purpose, and inner strength. Welcome.
Hey, today we have a very special guest, our dear teacher, Naghmeh Ahi. Naghmeh, could you please turn on your camera to say hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Nice to see you. Well,
Welcome,
happy to be
Naghmeh.
here. Thank you. Happy to be here.
Good. So I'm going to read a short bio we have. There's so much more about Naghmeh, but here's her short bio for everyone who's listening. So Naghmeh's love of literature and thoughtful expression led her to a BA in English and an advanced belt in the martial arts, and finally in 1999 to Iyengar Yoga, where she found a home for both and more. Her ongoing study led to regular month-long immersions with the Iyengar family in Pune, India. At home, Naghmeh has been one of the contributing teachers in the Iyengar Teachers Education Program and the Specific Needs Program for many years. She volunteers as an assessor for the National Association, and Naghmeh enjoys painting or playing piano on a whim and spends ample time with her animal companions and nature. Welcome,
Oh,
Naghmeh.
so lovely. And I want to say, for both Kate and I can speak for each other. Naghmeh has been a very big influence in our lives, as teachers, as humans. I think the love of Iyengar yoga really instilled in me because of our our classes and trainings with Naghmeh. So we are
Absolutely.
extremely grateful for all your service into yoga community and into our lives, really.
Yes, and so we were so interested and excited to have you here so that some people don't even know what Iyengar yoga is. So we thought this would be a great thing to discuss, how you got into it and the meaning and philosophy behind the whole Iyengar system. So maybe that just leads us to our first question. So how did yoga first enter your life and what drew you specifically to the Iyengar method?
First, I want to thank you for having me. It's very kind of you to consider me even as someone to really be the teacher to share a message, but it is a part of my honor to share what my experience with Iyengar Yoga is, as it is an experiential practice. Um, so first, thank you, and it's an honor to be one of your teachers, and it's your own enthusiasm that's brought the fruits. I'm the messenger, so thank you. Um, I've always been interested in movement, and I've been interested in running around and interested in exploring and a curious uh, person. And that is what really led me to eventually to Iyengar yoga from other things that I used to do. As a child, I would bike or I would go run around. And so I was always out there doing something. And so later in life, then I was biking a lot. Then later on, it was martial arts, and that is where I really ended up. It's when I came to New York City and was working in a office building that just happened to be across the park from where the Iyengar Institute of New York was situated. And that's when I was taking my martial arts classes 3 times a week. And I was like, oh, that yoga that I did a whole while ago, which was at that point, I would say it was 10 years, something like that, um, before, when I had ran into a friend who had met somebody that he was enamored by, and he insisted that me and my boyfriend go meet her by going to this yoga class. And we were like, can we go have coffee? Can we maybe have dinner? Because, I was interested in biking and my boyfriend was a book person, not at all interested in any of these kinds of things. We couldn't get our friend to agree to anything but this yoga class. So we went. My friend's name is Steve Mitchell and his now partners, Ann Witchett. Ann was the teacher in Washington, D.C., and John Schumacher's one of his main 3 studios of the time. And that was my introduction to Iyengar yoga. And what there were 2 things that struck me. I don't remember much about having any feelings about what, triangle pose did, or I don't remember anything. I just remember that we did tree pose and we were all falling. We're all falling out of it. We couldn't hold it.
Yeah.
And then she took us to the wall, and that really made a humongous impression on me, because I just was like, this is so kind. This is so kind. It was a kindness that took a deep effect on me. Maybe it seems like a very simple thing, but it was huge that this woman took us to the wall. What a nice thing to do. And that was the first one thing. And the second thing of it was that they had to wake me up at the end, the Shavasana. I just went into, it was beyond deep sleep. I think it wasn't really Shavasana, because I really,
you were out.
I was out.
Yeah.
I was not in some conscious state of surrender. I was gone. But that made a big effect on me also.
Yeah.
And that was it. There was no Iyengar yoga all the 10 years after that. And I did not know that it's not called Iyengar yoga. I didn't know about any other yoga. I just thought it's Iyengar yoga. Iyengar yoga is yoga.
Yoga.
And in fact, it is as a parenthetical, because when any interview or anything that anyone did with Mr. Iyengar, or you read, or he's asked the question of Iyengar yoga, he says, I teach yoga. It's my students that coined it, Iyengar. And that's an important distinction for everyone, for all of us to know. Because I hadn't seen one interview where this doesn't come up, because it's a question. Sir, they would of course ask him, Sir, tell us about Iyengar yoga. And he would always have a chuckle in his interviews. You can even look up some and see it. He has his he has a chuckle, and he says, oh, my dears, it is yoga.
Yeah.
I teach yoga. My students coined it that. So, meaning my understanding back then was similar. I'm just like, it's yoga. So I just looked up Iyengar yoga, because I thought that is yoga, because it is. Yes. But I didn't know. And then I found the Iyengar Institute in New York, across the park, and that was the beginning of the beginning of it.
Yeah. Wow.
Interesting. Yeah. That's great. So, but then there is this certain approach in Iyengar's teaching, right? So, can you talk about that a little bit? How is it different than, say, Vinyasa or Hatha systems? I understand it's all Hatha, but can you just explain to everybody what is the method, how different it is?
The thing about that, and answering that, is this. So if I'm to, in all earnestness, I have to know both to be able to tell you the difference.
Okay.
So I would have to have knowledge of Vinyasa enough, and of knowledge of Iyengar yoga, to say I know the difference. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
I've learned from friends. I've learned from being in studios that are teaching multidisciplinary. And I've seen, there was a studio I taught with a group of colleagues. We taught in Midtown, and that had glass windows. So you could see each room. It was kind of, you couldn't help but look through, because it was literally the rooms. It was the Iyengar room, it was the Vinyasa room, and it was the Ashtanga room. All of us, you could see through the windows. That way I learned a lot. I was like, oh, how interesting. One room would have lights changing and the music. That was the Vinyasa room next to us. The other room, it was like a lot of sweating and a lot of towels and a lot of, and then we were standing, or we had our ropes, or we had that going on. And so, I mean, so my knowledge, I have zero. There's no knowledge, but any exposure I've had to other styles, from Vinyasa to Ashtanga, I've looked online, I've looked at videos. I see people that have that in their background, practicing what they might do, how they might move. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. And their bodies also show what the method uh,
Yes.
highlights.
Yes.
You know, the body of the person practicing that style shows it. You see it in the musculature, in the stature, in the breathing. You see it in the breathing when
Mhm.
they're in your class and you're like, hi, you know, I've done Ashtanga for 20 years, I'm here. Or my rotator cuff.
Yes.
And then, you know, then they come back. It's like, okay, it's back.
Yes.
I'll see you later, you know. Or vinyasa, you see how they get a little antsy in our kind of hold the pose, stay the pose, maybe talk too much. That would be my problem, not any of my colleagues. But so so that kind of comparison I can make for you
Yeah.
by saying that I think there's a little bit of all of those other styles within Iyengar yoga.
Yeah.
We do jumpings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a flow.
Yes.
Hmm.
It can be it can be the flow of the breath, the movement. We have that. It might be differently expressed or executed, but we have that flow. You know, if there's a flow, vinyasa flow.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that where there might be a big, if I, you know, were to pull something big out as that, I don't know if I know about it elsewhere, is that the attention
Mm.
and the awareness, the way that the method requires you to ongoingly
Yeah.
exercise
Yeah.
is different than in anything I've ever done.
For sure.
You know, just today, you know, I was like, I have projects to do other than, you know, plumbing that might be going on, etc. But I was like, I was chuckled at myself because I was like, you know, that thing I kind of did, and then it went somewhere. This thing I kind of did, and the only thing that just keeps me going nonstop, I keep going back to it. It's done with me. It's every day. It's been this Iyengar yoga.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
It's
it works its way into you
Yes.
through that attentiveness. It's the attention. It's
yes.
Yeah.
the attention.
I mean,
And it's
for
not
those who
only
are
on one thing, you know, it's not only on
no,
one thing. It's not only on the breath.
Right.
yeah,
It's not only on the flow. It's not only on the hold.
yeah,
It's on all of it.
Yes. Yeah.
yeah. It's a whole experience, and it's you know, for some of my students tell me, "Wow, you know, you just watch so carefully and you see everything, you don't miss it." I said, "Oh, you need to meet my teacher."
Oh,
I learned from the best, and I'm not even like close. So for those who are listening, you know, it's a really interesting experience. It's a beautiful experience to be in Naghmeh's class. Not that your butt gets kicked, but in a very gentle and kind way. But also, she does not miss anything.
No.
She will
Yeah.
see everything from
Yeah.
your room to her room. She has this incredible focus and incredible eyes and incredible also dedication. So I just wanted to
Yes.
make that again a center because of that your love and your dedication really shows through your classes. Now I'm curious, did you meet personally Mr. Iyengar or Gita
Daughter.
Iyengar?
Yeah.
And how was that?
I was honored to. The first time I went to India was I, years are difficult at this stage. I'm 61. So you know, I keep telling everyone, oh, it's been 10 years I've done this. It's been 10 years. I'm like, it's been 10 years. You've been saying it's 10 years. So just stop giving, you know, date references. So I'm going to stop that. But I can just tell you that it was a while ago that I went for the first time. It was for Geeta Iyengar's 60th birthday. I was so excited because they had a big um, uh, like 3 day, or it was a week convention. And then I did that and went and stayed for the first time for a month there, which is commonplace for, you know, teachers, practitioners to do, uh, and to go to Pune to study. So that's the first time that I met Mr. Iyengar and of course Geeta Iyengar. But in fact, Mr. Iyengar then uh, would be sitting, like when you went to the institute, he would have a courtyard, and he would sit because he knew people wanted to go and bow to him and say hello to him. And not that he expected the bow, but people did, because he was just so approachable, and he would be like, ha ha ha, how are you doing? And he loved hanging out. He was just so not like some figure up in some special seat in some curtained off,
Yeah.
unapproachable on this pedestal. He wasn't. He was just right there. It was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, he's right here. You would walk in there he is.
Was he
And
watching the classes at that time, or was
are
he?
you kidding
Oh,
me? He
yeah.
was so watching. So
Yeah.
a sweet, funny story to share about that convention and then the classes in the institute is that was Geeta's birthday. She was teaching it. It was this big hall, um, and it's a local hall in the town where they take conventions when it's too big for the institute.
All right.
At one end is one platform, it's the rectangle, other end is another one. Geeta was sitting at one end, Mr. Iyengar would come sit at the other end, but not all the time. Like maybe she would do the morning class and he would come and be there for the afternoon. So like let's say we've done the morning, she's been at the front the whole time, we're all there, afternoon comes and we come and we sit ready to begin, and she's there, and then we can tell something's happened, he's come in, something, she says, turn around, sit that way, because it's her father, she's saying. There
Yes.
was this one day, it was just so funny because we sat facing her, she said turn around, we turn around, and we sat facing him, he said turn back around, sit facing her, we did this literally happened until guess who had to acquiesce.
Yes. Gita.
We sat facing, because we sat facing her because we had to listen to him. That's what happened. But she taught and he didn't. It was her birthday, she taught. So then the month began at the regular classes, and this is what I mean about the accessibility of this incredible human being who is this incredible um teacher. I mean, there are no words. I don't even want to pretend I can come up with words. There's been many already given to this incredible human being. And we come in, you walk in, it's my first time at the Institute, and I'm like, he's sitting next to the props. Again, he had a special spot. You know how we all go to class and we have a spot?
Yes.
How he was. He's just like us. He had a spot.
Yeah.
And his spot, he was just, of course, he was like, hey, who wouldn't want to be near the props? He was near the props. And I was like, oh my God, I have to go walk past him to take the belt. Or
Yes.
like almost like step over his leg to go take the.
Those
So
long legs.
he's like there, he's watching, but then he would make commentary, like he would be doing, and his senior students like Patricia Walden and Lois Steinberg, like they would all want to go near where he's sitting. Then he would be telling them, Patricia, like he would tell them things about the post. Then Geeta would be like, so apparently then Geeta G was like, okay, she had said that she would prefer that she has have her classes if her father would kindly, not.
Please.
Father-daughter, yes.
It was very sweet, but
Yeah.
yes, and yeah, that's so. Yes,
Yeah.
met him in person, and he taught if you will, in during her classes. I mean, without joking or whatever, he would say in things, or if Geeta wasn't teaching, and let's say Raya was Raya Ud, who's a longtime teacher there from childhood. He's been there. If he was teaching, or Abijata, his granddaughter, he definitely would interject. I mean, literally, Abijata would go to him, he would tell her exactly the sentence, she would come right back up and tell us.
Wow.
He would say, have him do the poses. So we had tons of classes like that if Geeta G was indisposed for traveling or something.
Did you feel a kind of energy when he was in the room?
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah.
Yes.
No, it wasn't even,
Yeah.
this is like, and I'm a pretty level-headed person.
Yeah.
you knew he came in the room because there was a light change.
Yeah.
There was a change of light. There was a light. There was this brightness. No, no, no. There just was. It was just, there was this light.
That's
That's
There
amazing.
was a light. There
Yep.
was a light in the room. It was, and I'm even having got my
I
goosebumps
got
now.
chills. Me
Oh,
too.
Yeah.
yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
What an
It is.
impression.
Wow.
Um,
It's,
so you talked about, the focus, the attention of
mhm.
Iyengar. And, it's also described as sometimes meditation in action. Um,
Exactly.
how does that show up? How does that resonate for you?
In life,
Yeah,
in life or in practice.
yeah, both.
I mean, it's like taking it from the class or from the practice into life, which is like the whole idea behind all of this, um, which is really the challenge, isn't it? I mean, it becomes perhaps over time and over uninterrupted practice more available in asana practice, then it from there it moves itself just naturally into the pranayama practice. Those 8 limbs, there's a reason for them, but if you see Mr. Iyengar kind of took them and put asana, he put that first, he
Yes.
put pranayama next, and he was like, okay, you're going to learn the rest of this dhyana dharana in within that.
Yeah.
It's not all so separated out. It's within that. Like, and he took all those petals and put them within the asana.
Right.
And it's sort of his, way of always teaching. He would take a leaf. This was one of the common ways he would make examples, is he would take a leaf and talk about from the center, the stem of the leaf out to the edges of the leaf, the progression. So that's from the core to the periphery, then from the periphery to the core. So answering your question is, you experience those 8 limbs like that, but the asana, in my humble feeling, is the core,
Yeah.
and then the other limbs go in and out of this, because he just, he watched the human being so incredibly intently and observed the human being so much, so incredibly, that he was like, humans need to, have something tangible to work with.
Yeah.
They don't have the discipline to start with the chapter 1 of the sutras, which is sit
Yeah.
and
Yes.
become still.
Yes.
It's not gonna, he's like, he's a very, very, what's the word?
Practical.
Practical. He is so practical. But look at the level he is. That's what I'm saying. He's practical. He sits next to you with the belt right there. He's right
Yes.
there.
Right.
He's not up there. He's not in some, even though when he walks, there's a light in the room. So
Mhm.
it's he allows you to experience it through your embodiment in practical ways, which is move it, squeeze it, look at it.
Mhm.
As you do it, direct perception, indirect perception, gradually. And he never uses, fancy words or fancy terms. It's all simple. If you listen to his recordings ever online, they're just, if anything, it's a lot of instructions about the way to, move the body or hold the body.
Yeah.
Then within that, he builds it. These
Mhm.
come over time. The meditative quality comes because you become, you go from one focused to multi-focused, and it just goes like that. It goes like that, back and forth. It goes like that. And then you just learn to absolutely uh, maybe get a little glimpse of some, one pointedness of sorts that still has to emanate outwardly.
That's a great way of, I think it will really help people understand it, because when people talk about his method of teaching, they always seem to focus on the alignment, alignment, this, that. But I love the idea that it's all in there, it's all encompassing within this. And he's dealing with the body as spirits. We are in this body right now. So that's what we have to deal with. So let's deal with that first, and then the rest will come from that. So it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
I,
Yeah,
I
physical
mean,
alignment starts the energetic flow, right? It open up all those energies nowadays,
Absolutely.
as we know. Yeah.
I mean, I to be again, like I will bring up the plumbing. I have a plumbing issue that's happening, and
Yes.
the problem is the misalignment.
Mm.
There's a
Absolutely.
misalignment.
Yes.
Why didn't it work? Because the line of the entry of the water and the pipe and the other pipe and the line were supposed to be 90 degrees.
Perfect.
It is off by 3 inches.
Yes.
So there is no flow.
Yes.
There is no
Beautiful.
flow.
I feel like Mr. Iyengar sent that to you
He
as a message
he's
to
like,
tell
hey
everybody, to
Naghmeh,
The
remind
hey
you.
precision
Naghmeh.
again. It's beautiful.
I
The
mean,
observation, precision, beautiful.
it's sort of, and I mean, if you think about it, like a good structure, a good building, when they build the building that they build in the streets, when they're building it, they build the foundation,
Mm,
right? They build the
yes.
foundation, they have the skeleton, we've got our bones, and they have the sheetrock, the whatever, you got the muscles, whichever, consider it like that
Yeah.
as well. And then, then they arrange it so it can withstand
Yeah.
wind,
The conditions.
earthquake,
Yeah.
conditions, uh,
Emotions.
emotions. So then that's where the gunas come, and we have all of the gunas are the stuff of which we are made of, and how they affect us, and they change from morning. We're all a little heavier. Maybe,
Yes.
maybe somebody wakes up really light. I'm not saying
Right.
we are all a little heavier, but we go from heavy to light to agitated to dull to, clear. The coffee helps, or maybe, you know.
So cool.
So
Yeah,
that's why he goes back to the alignment, the structure,
yeah.
you know.
Life is practice. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Um, so be honest with us. What is your favorite prop?
Oh, oh,
I love this
oh,
question.
yeah. I was like, yeah, I did think about it, but I was like, gosh, well, it depends on, it doesn't depend. It's like, it depends.
Yes.
I'm sorry if that's a bad
No,
answer,
no.
but
Like your
it,
children, you can't choose.
oh, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah, if you
yeah.
can't, you love your cat, dog, bird, but okay. All right. If it were to be, I think the
Oh my
wall,
God,
Oh,
you're so
yes.
right.
the
Of
wall.
course.
Of course, I'm
It
going to
was your
copy.
first prop that you
It's,
really, yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's what he did say that, but I'm not trying to copy him. That Mr. Angus said that. So, but it really, it is. I mean,
Yeah. And they're
it's
everywhere. We've built
kind
it
of.
everywhere, right?
Remember, we've been places where there are no walls, and we're
Oh,
like, oh, that shala would be good, but there are no
Yes.
walls there. You
true.
Remember
know,
in Costa Rica, there were really,
exactly.
yeah.
That's what I mean. So that's where, like, you're asking for differences between the styles. It's like we need our wall, and you go to all these retreat centers. They're like, "What's the matter? Look, it's a panoramic view with
I
nothing to obstruct."
know.
We're like,
Yeah.
"Well, we could use a little wall."
Yes.
Because again, it's because of the alignment.
Mhm.
It's the alignment. It's the wall to the floor that gives you
The
that,
reference, yeah.
Yep,
you
yep.
know, not that we're going to go lean on it, but we need just gives you that reference
Reference,
from
yeah.
which you can go.
So, sort of another sort of funny question related to that. Do you have a pose that you used to dread, but that now you love, or is there one that was always sort of niggling at you, or not?
I, I think, oh, yeah, but it's still, yeah, Virabhadrasana 3.
Oh,
Virabhadrasana 3
yeah, it's hard.
has always been a challenge. And that one, if I don't practice it extremely regularly,
Yeah,
I lose, not that you're supposed to hold on because you let it go, because every time you find something within the post, you're like, oh, it was that I wasn't, doing. It wasn't just that my big toe was coming up. It's like, no, I didn't suck my outer hips in, or my arms weren't straight enough, or I wasn't breathing, or I was looking too high and, or too low. But Virabhadrasana 3, so it's a love-hate relationship.
yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Virabhadrasana 3. And it's like
Do
only
you
time that
feel?
I'm like, okay, I love it now because it's like this not it's this ongoing teacher in the sense that, you know, you have to keep on going, and there's not, you can't hold on to something like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Virabhadrasana 3, do you see what I'm saying? Like
I
you
see what
can't
you're
hold on
saying.
to it.
Yes, you can.
No.
But do you feel, is it because you can't see it in your mind's eye or feel it in your body always in the way, like, what is it? I'm just sort of
Oh,
delving in a little bit, you know?
well, yeah, because
Yeah.
I it I haven't found the where it's leaking.
Where,
It's been
yes,
happening
where
in my
it's
life.
leaking, where
Where
the
it's
hole
leaking.
is.
Got it.
Yeah,
Got it.
Yes,
no, really, it's like the energetic leak. If to come to Bashak used the term energetics within the structure, it has
yes,
a lot. Yeah, and I like that. Um, that one, to find its center of gravity is a challenge. To you might hit it, but it, for me, the pose, it wavers from the front to back, to the side to side,
yeah,
and all the
yeah,
poses have that place from where you're finding your center, right? And that one is just, it's an ongoing thing, and it's like, talk about like, you know um meditation and action. It's like you can't be thinking of anything else in
Right.
that one other than where you are, and um uh being there,
It's
yes.
great
being
that you
there,
share that, Naghmeh, because you know, you are such an accomplished practitioner of yoga,
right?
Hmm.
and I would expect you to say something like a crazier pose. And because you do all of those crazier poses, I can't even attempt
Yeah.
so gracefully.
No,
And then
no, no.
you said warrior tree, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wow. So that is
Yeah.
such a humbling moment, and it's so beautiful you shared. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. Thank you for that.
Hmm.
Sure. Virabhadrasana 3.
So
And
now,
the good news is there's a really great version with the wall that is
that's
fully
right.
That's
accessible.
true. Very true.
Fingertips.
Yes.
Um, i- is there something your students do that secretly makes you smile every time?
Oh my gosh. I mean, just seeing them smile is what makes me
Oh,
smile.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Seeing them smile, does make me smile. And I mean the one when they're doing it by themselves in the pose, of course you might even if like in between a pose or something, they look at or their friend in the room and they have a cackle or a wink or something. But
Yeah.
when they're in the process and you see them smiling on their faces, that makes me smile.
well,
Yeah.
usually, when we smile, I can speak from my experience. When you say we're gonna hold this pose only a
Oh,
couple of minutes,
oh,
and then
yeah.
10 minutes later, you have to smile.
I
It's more like
I
this.
I know, just the other day we were done your asanas, and I was like, let me see tonight, like, how are we going to work on the pose? And I was like, we're going to work on the pose through repetition instead of changing up so many factors in it.
Yeah.
Now let's do it this way, or now let's do it that way. I just announced it to them that we're going to do a certain number one way and a certain number. Just we're going to have a certain number this way. That's it. Only changing twice and a certain number. So I wasn't going to commit to how many. So they were in that ready mode of like a certain number.
Yes.
And then when we finished the second set of the certain number, I was like, oh, I think they could use a couple more. And I was like, okay. And there was the whole room was like, oh, and I was like, oh dear. Oh no, that's not, oh dear. But
That's
I
great.
mean, it's not to make people get tired. It's not to make
No.
people, it's because
It's to
it's,
wake them up.
it's to, I feel part of my job is to help people go past their own
Yeah.
uh, preconceived notions.
Yeah.
And again, so in my very rudimentary place where I am, as someone who's along the lines of guiding people, that's what I know. I don't have other offerings. I know that you just give a breath or two and just do one more. Then you, within you, are going to find something. Maybe I don't, that I don't know either. But this is the tool that the method has given me. This is the tool that yoga has given me. Again, it's the asana.
Yeah.
And I don't have to make it complicated. Maybe I'll go do some on my own, some crazy stuff. Those are called touch and go poses. Those aren't the ones you go stay in and get to the meditative place.
Yeah.
Though there's that one person who did
Yeah.
EKS and many others, but I know of him in that respect. But yeah, that's the tool available. So there's one more. People who don't want to do one more, they don't do one more. but the group togetherness,
Yeah, the energy there again
Yeah.
that it's
helps.
you can't it's so, but it's so beautiful because it's the group, but they're all in themselves. They're
Yes.
in everyone's within their own experience, but there's something about that togetherness too, which is the yoga. It's union, isn't it? It's union
Yes.
on
It
so many
is.
levels, and it's
Sure.
about the greater, along with you know. Um,
That's amazing. Okay, so another question.
And by the way, we are actually running short on time. So
Oh,
one more
okay.
question, Kate.
Okay,
I
which
don't, I want to
one?
respect Naghmeh's time. Yeah.
Okay, okay,
You
which
want to
one?
ask
Which
about?
one? The very last one, should we ask her we have here? If you're offering
Sure.
one. Okay, so if you could offer one guiding principle from the Iyengar tradition to students of yoga, what would it be? Is it a hard one? Yeah.
keep practicing.
Oh, that's it?
See, make it
Yes,
simple, just like
Keep
Mr.
practicing.
Iyengar.
Keep
just
practicing
keep
every
going
day and
every
every
day.
day. And don't think that it has to be 90 minutes, 2 hours to count. It
Yes,
can be a dog pose, legs up the wall, sit in Baddha Konasana, Shavasana, and call it a day. But every day, do
do
something
something.
and really be fully in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
Every day, do something.
Love it.
It's just simple and beautiful and profound.
Yes,
Yeah.
simple is profound. Thank you,
Yeah.
Naghmeh, for this time.
Thank you for having me.
It
Thank you
was
for
so
having me.
lovely,
So
and
good to
we
see your beautiful faces and your
thank you.
energetics.
Same.
And um,
We'll see you
thank you
in
for being in my
class
life.
soon.
Yes.
I hope so. I look forward to it whenever it works.
And we didn't tell you this, but sometimes we do a little dance as we leave. Are you
You
ready?
do.
Yes, just with the
Okay.
music.
Sure.
You can just boogie. Are you
Okay.
ready?
Yes.
Here we go. It's the same music. Oh no, it's different music. Is it? Oh, it's the same.
Thanks everyone for
Yes.
listening.
Thank you. Thank you, Naghmeh. See you in
Thank
class.
you. Thank you.
Bye.
See you.
Thank you.
Bye.